Every week I will be using a different imagery to illustrate the function of the subconscious mind. And I'm going to invite you all to close your eyes. And we're going to go into a little visualization to get a deeper understanding on how the subconscious mind operates, the function, and how to work with it. So just take a deep breath in. The exhale, relaxing, releasing. Just imagining that you are in a beautiful place in nature. The column of light is expanding and creating a sacred space where you can be undisturbed, fully protected, fully sheltered. Anything and anybody is blocked out at this moment because you are in this beautiful sacred space that you are creating for yourself with the intention to get to know your subconscious mind a little bit better. And just imagine that your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It's like a garden that is, nothing is done yet. It's just open space, but it's such fertile soil that if you put anything in the ground, it will just grow. That's how fertile your subconscious mind is. And during these 4 workshops together, it is our intention to first weed the garden. So just imagine fast forwarding. So when you look at being a baby coming in, your garden is completely open and untouched. And from the moment you are born, the programming starts. Everybody starts putting seeds into your garden. So just fast forward all the way to the present moment and just notice what has been planted, what has been growing. So set your intention that the first act that you're going to be doing is to weed out the garden so that you can have a clear view on what's going on there and create some space. And just imagine that the weeds are a symbol of all the transgenerational trauma that was passed on from one womb to the next. Imagine all the weeds and the overgrowth started from the moment you were conceived. And throughout your life, you can just fast forward all the challenges that you had to face in life at any age. And this could be decades ago or just yesterday. And all the programming you got from your parents, from teachers, especially between the age of 0 and 7 and the age of up until the age of 12, when you were still fully operating in your subconscious mind, like in a state of hypnosis where your garden was completely open. Just imagine what is growing right now. What is the dominant growth in the garden? We know there's flowers there. We know there's delicious veggies there, but can you see them? Maybe there's so many weeds, maybe there's poisonous plants. Just notice what's going on. And just imagine that when you get ready to start weeding your garden, just like in real life, you would not just cut off the top of the weed. Instead of doing the weeding on a surface level, imagine that you set your intention to go as deep as you can, all the way to the roots, which in this specific case symbolizes the root causes, the root of any issues, any roadblocks, any belief systems. And just imagine going all the way back to where the seeds were first planted, just pulling them out. And to really weed your garden, you have to shine the light of awareness on your garden and be completely honest. There's no judgment here. It's just an observation, just coming in as the gardener, taking full responsibility for your garden in this now moment, and also stepping into your role as the main guardian and the main caretaker of your garden. It's an empowering move. As you step in, it's like, whoa, I let this run wild, but today, this is a pivotal moment in my life. Today, I'm taking charge. And again, taking a few moments to scan your garden, tuning into the energy. Notice everything that is growing in your garden, the flowers, the vegetables, the trees, the bushes. And just focus on the issues and the challenges in your garden. Is there anything in the garden that is negatively affecting the well-being of your flowers, your veggies, and your trees? Are there any weeds or other things that need to be dealt with? There may even be a more severe issue that needs attention, like poisonous plants, or maybe there's an issue with water supply. Maybe there's too much water. Maybe there's not enough water, or the water's in the wrong place. So just scan the garden, setting your intention to bring balance and harmony. And what about the boundaries of your garden? Because maybe there are animals like rabbits, deer, or any other animals that look really cute, but they just love to eat your harvest and all of your veggies and your flowers. And again, just imagining that all of these things that are negatively affecting the well-being of your flowers and your veggies and your herbs and your trees are just a symbol of any disempowering and limiting beliefs that may have been planted there. Maybe it's also a symbol for any type of abusive relationship dynamic that is blocking the full potential of your garden. What or who is hindering you from fully blossoming and growing? And again, this is all about radical honesty. This is an individual process. This is between you and you. Just be radically honest. And just imagine just going back and forth in time from the moment you were a little baby and your subconscious mind was just a beautiful open space, untouched garden with fertile soil, eager to receive and grow all the new seeds. And just scan your timeline. You're rewinding and fast forwarding back and forth in time. Who and what had access to your garden? What type of belief systems were planted in the garden of your subconscious mind? And again, just imagine that in the early years, your garden did not have any fences or any boundaries. And any type of information could land freely in the rich soil of your garden and take root. Now, the imagery that comes to mind is the story of the elephant. When the elephant is a little baby and they put a chain around its foot and they tie it to a chair, the elephant learns that that is the reality. So even when it's a grown elephant that could easily snap that chain or move that chair, the elephant still believes it is tied, it is chained to the chair. So use that imagery when you look at the fences and the boundaries. It's true that as a young child, there were no boundaries. There were no fences. But now, as an adult, Just imagine that you can put up fences and boundaries, and it's okay, you can do that. Just letting go of that limiting belief that you have no right or no ability to put up any boundaries, to guard your garden, to guard your subconscious mind. And just take a few moments to tune into the belief system that is running in your family. Are there like certain patterns, certain belief systems that are very typical for your family? And just imagine that those seeds were absolutely sown in your garden. Now also take it a little bit further. Look at your greater community. Maybe the area that you live in or grew up in, the school system you were in, your religion, spirituality. What were the seeds that were planted that came from the greater community? And now take it a step further and tune into your culture. What culture are you or were you part of? And how did that impact your garden? What are the belief systems, the patterns, the habits in your culture? And you can rest assured that some of that was sown in your garden. So just scan your garden. And also your geographic location in the world can be tied to certain belief systems. So what seeds, what type of beliefs were sown in the garden of your subconscious mind? You're going back to your family and your ancestry, your greater community, schooling system, religious beliefs, the culture, geographic location, and even being a woman or a man. That comes with a whole set of belief systems that adults project onto a child. So what seeds were sown in your garden of the subconscious mind when it comes to being a woman, when it comes to being a man? It also could be linked to being a certain sibling. Maybe you were the oldest or the youngest or the one in the middle or an only child. What were the belief systems that were sown in your garden in regards to your place in the family? Maybe there was a belief system that you needed to be a grown-up and take care of others instead of just being a child and enjoying yourself and just being carefree. So just notice in the garden what has been sown, and you can come back to this. You don't have to have it perfect right now. Just whatever's coming up right now is good. Trust that whatever's coming up right now is exactly what needs to come up. But I want you to really take back control today. Take control of your garden, and it's just your intention. And you don't have to do it alone. You can call in your team of guides and guardians to help you. Because the first call to action is to remove anything that is not supportive to your optimal growth. So call in some help and imagine gently pulling out any invasive weeds, any invasive plants, but do it with focused awareness. When you pull it out, imagine placing them in a wheelbarrow with ease and grace and just saying, this actually never belonged to me. This is not who I really am. So just imagine pulling it out and just feel a sense of relief that with every root, every plant, every weed that you remove, just notice that there's a weight being lifted from your shoulders because this was never supposed to be in your garden. So just put it in the wheelbarrow with ease and grace. And continue to scan your garden and take inventory of all that needs to be cleared and repaired. Maybe there was a little fence that you put up at some point in your life, but it's kind of raggedy and not very strong and stable. You can repair that fence. So this is an individual process. And again, imagine that you can assign multiple teams to come and assist you with all the different tasks that need to be done in the garden. You can ask for extra help to build that beautiful fence, that strong, high, beautiful fence, as a symbol that you are now capable and ready to set some healthy boundaries. And it's also going to make it easier for you to guard the perimeter. You can imagine adding a beautiful gate. And I suggest that you put up a big sign that says, "No trespassing." No trespassing. That feels good, putting that sign there. Yes. And also call in further assistance to help you with the water management. Also ask for assistance in removing poisonous plants. Ask for assistance in removing any parasites or anything else that needs attention. And just imagine that your garden is a work of art in progress. And please enjoy the creation process. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey and feeling that empowerment as you go on this journey, as you take charge of every step in the creation process. Take some time to enjoy it. Every once in a while, stop and look. Wow, I've come this far. Look at my wheelbarrow full of stuff. And just imagine taking a step back and zoom out to get a bigger perspective. And as you're scanning your timeline, let's scan into the future and take a few moments to envision the end result that you're working towards. Imagine the most beautiful garden with lush plants, delicious veggies, fragrant herbs, colorful flowers, and healthy trees and shrubs. And wow, what would this garden look like in your most ideal scenario? But more importantly, how would it feel to be in this garden? So use the power of your imagination and please use all of your senses. What would your experience be if you could fully smell and touch, taste? Just imagine picking a veggie or a fruit from your garden and just biting into it. It's like, whoa, that is so delicious. And also hear, listen to what is going on in the garden. Maybe there are some birds. Maybe you hear some bees in the background somewhere doing their job, pollinating, assisting you. They're little workers that are helping you to build this beautiful garden. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes of silence to really, really tune into using all of your senses. Smell, touch, taste, see, hearing. 2 minutes of silence, just really tuning into how it would feel to be in the garden, what it would look like, focusing on the goal, on the end result. Last 20 seconds, just really taking in these mental pictures and these bodily sensations that you are receiving when you tune into this beautiful end result. Also tuning into the environment, temperature, wind, being in awe, all of your senses. Now, with this image of the end result in mind, just really tune in deeply into your own consciousness, your own awareness, and ask yourself if there is anything or anybody in your life right now that could potentially bring in something that would negatively affect your beautiful garden and the result that you're aiming for. Because just imagine that up until now, anybody that had access to your garden, to your subconscious mind, they all come in with seeds and are always planting in your garden. So right now it's with a new gate, with a new barrier, a fence, a boundary. Just feel into what you will need to do to uphold that boundary in a very loving way, but with very clear intention. And if there is anybody or anything in your life right now that pops up, so just could be one person, it could be multiple people, if they are not already in one of these crystal healing spaces, just imagine inviting their baby self to go in one of those healing rooms, to be supported by the divine feminine and divine masculine, so that they can experience unconditional love and unconditional support. And just imagine sending them roses and just giving them that opportunity to really relax, to really feel nourished, maybe for the first time in their life without any conditions. It's truly unconditional support, unconditional love. And usually this is something we do not receive from other human beings. So we're calling in a higher power. We're calling in Mother Earth. We're calling in Source of Creation to provide that. But now back to your garden. And just know that in the course of our time together, you will be the architect of your garden and the main gardener, supported by your team of helpers. And just imagine that by the end of our 4-week series, you will have even more clarity on the design of your garden, because this is like a work in progress. This end result that you're seeing right now, maybe you want to add things to it, and that is fine. You can also, in the course of these 4 weeks, become very clear on the new seeds that you wish to plant for future enjoyment and future harvest. And during our time together, you are stepping out of the old paradigm that was created when you were a child. And in this new paradigm, this new timeline, you are taking full responsibility for what and who has access to your garden. And by becoming consciously aware of anything that would disturb the ecosystem in your garden, you are creating that pivotal moment and a powerful timeline shift. Shining the light of your loving awareness on the gate of your garden, you are literally assigning your conscious mind to become the gatekeeper for the subconscious mind. It's working together. It's beautiful co-creation. And this is your moment to make a commitment to yourself to start catching any information that causes fear, anxiety, resistance, judgment, doubt, worry, or indecision. Because those are the seeds that grow into those invasive plants and into those weeds. And in the beginning of this process of our 4 weeks together, I would like to invite you to go on a mini media detox for a few days. Only if you want to, it's just an invitation. From my own personal experience, I know this is super helpful, especially when you're doing work like this with a clear intention. So going on a mini media detox for a few days. That means no news, no social media, no gossiping, and no conversations that leave you drained or anxious. And instead taking some extra time, because if you don't do that for a couple of days, you will have some extra time on your hands. So take that extra time to nourish the garden of your subconscious mind by listening or watching to whatever keeps your frequency above the level of 250, which is the level of neutrality. And again, I will come back with the scale of consciousness and give you some more information about that. And then as we move up this scale of consciousness, 400 and above, which is the level that goes into love. When you set your intention to raise your frequency to the level of love, you are consciously choosing to create a more nourishing environment for yourself. Another idea, something that has been working really well for me in shifting, is getting up a little bit early in the morning, earlier than you normally do, to meditate, to dance, to do some yoga, to go for a walk, and on a daily basis, take a salt bath or jump in a natural body of water on a daily basis. Maybe instead of watching the news or going on social media, you can listen to an uplifting audiobook or a meditation, or even cleaning your house, which could be a symbol of clearing things out, like old things that no longer serve you. It's time to go, and just creating space and time for new habits. And in the process of that, you are improving your mental and physical health and also your skill set. And this will support you in turning all of your challenges into healing opportunities, to turn your roadblocks into stepping stones. And this is also the gateway for you to step into your mastery of co-creating your desired reality. It's you, literally you, creating a golden opportunity to optimize and fine-tune your environment, your beliefs, your habits, your goals, your skill set, your sense of identity in the now, and your vision of your future self. And okay, let's go back to the garden, the imagery of the garden. And next to your own individual garden, I would also like to invite you to imagine that our group container here is like a community garden. So I'm going to ask everybody to be very mindful of the energy that you bring into this garden. For 3 hours each week, just commit yourself, train yourself to be laser focused and aware of what you are adding to the mix. And like I was saying, I will reference the Scale of Consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins throughout this course. And before next week's workshop, I will send you an illustration so that you can get a visual. But just a quick overview. Fear is vibrating at the level of 100. Neutrality is at the level of 250. Love is at the level of 425 and above. And enlightenment is at the level of 1,000. So fear 100, neutrality 250, love 425 and above, enlightenment 1,000. Now, when we are in the group container, I invite everybody to catch anything that lowers your frequency below 250, which is the level of neutrality. And just leave it at the entrance of our Zoom class. Let 250, the level of neutrality, the level of non-judgment and non-resistance, be the absolute lowest frequency that you vibrate at during our time together. And how do you do it? You just practice self-inquiry and you practice self-correction as a part of your commitment to yourself and to the group. And just know that healing, growing, and evolving is a conscious choice. And you signed up and paid for this workshop, so I know that you want it. And keep in mind that everyone here decided to put their money, their time, and energy in this. And let's all be mindful and respectful of that commitment. And also remember that another person's healing is your healing. Their healing is your healing, and your healing is their healing. My healing is your healing. Your healing is my healing. And this is the power of coming together in groups with such a clear intention and with absolute respect for ourselves and for the other members. So just take that responsibility of what you bring in and what you share. And I know that this workshop will work if you do the work. And there's no need to compare yourself to anybody else. Just focus on you and your contribution to the overall frequency in our co-creative healing space. Just do you. That's all we ask. Just do you. And I'm going to give you a 5-minute break to go to the bathroom, to get some water, and maybe if you want to journal, write something down about your garden experience. And I'll see you in 5 minutes.